Alright, well, you know the drill by now. Thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. Watch the two previous parts if you're not up to speed, and let's get into the tournament. So, to pick up where we left off, the first round saw a ton of upsets. I personally thought that Skyfire was going to make it all the way to the finals, but unfortunately it was knocked out in round 1 by Punk Rock Lee's Assault Dragon Catapult Cannon, which is joining 3 other decks in the top 4. Slifer Spiral playing Convulsions of Nature and piloted by Train. Rank Up Magic Gadgets piloted by Lil Spee that I think attempts to make C101. That one's a little hazy. And in Motto Black Garden, my very first user submission, piloted by Alpha Cretin. Let's go to that match first, because I think it will be the most decisive. Alright, I'm going to level with you. This first match includes 2 decks, one of which has to land a several-step combo, and the other of which is playing Solemn Strike and Horn of Heaven in the main. It's got about 15 turns to find any of those cards, and walk away with the game immediately. I don't feel particularly good about Punk Rock Lee's chances, nor do I think that Assault Dragon Catapult Cannon is going to make it on field a single time during this set. God, I hope he proves me wrong. You can see he's a little ahead of me. Alpha wishes him good luck, have fun, to which Punk replies, no. Justifiable. Punk's at the very least going second, which is what he wants to see. An extra turn means 1 fewer fog he has to draw. Cretin's going to lead with a copy of Black Garden. He'll set a copy of Debris Dragon and 2 Horns of Heaven. Well, that wraps up game 1. He'll then attack directly with Debris Dragon. Of course, because it was set and then flipped, it isn't subject to the decreased attack and could get in for a whopping 1,000. Oh boy. Punk is now going to resolve Contract with Dawn Thousand. This is an extremely problematic card to attempt to activate on Dueling Book because there's no cute way to make it work. It reveals both players' hand and restricts their movement if they have spells in it, and because of that, you kind of have to have a second hand in your banished pile. Anyway, Cretin's just doing normal synchro plant things, making a clear wing with about 1250 attack, and finally destroying this copy of Contract with Dawn Thousand. There's a justifiable reason for doing so. Every one of these traps is going to be chainable. You can see Punk has built a chain of about 8 with accumulated fortune, is discarding one to hand size even, and then taking a cool, 350 from the Charian Motto? Ooh, with 600 additional. Alright, he's now giving Cretin about 10 quadrillion life points, after which, of course, he will probably be activating some number of hopes for escape. Here he's going for the combo, he's got it, but unfortunately that Gofu eats a Horn of Heaven. Now the game isn't exactly over, there is a localized tornado set, which means he could go for it again, but it also means that 1 additional negate is going to be able to stop his entire play. So, when he's given the chance, he's going to activate 2 copies of Hope for Escape, a gift card, and a localized tornado. That's going to put Cretin up to 16,000 and draw Punk, I believe, 14 cards. They have to be really good ones. I'm not playing like Hey True Nate or anything because I didn't have high hopes for this deck when I was building it, to be honest. Yep, 14 it is, so let's draw them all out, and he does have a lot of good stuff. 4 trap cards going to the graveyard, and then of course we'll activate a Swift Scarecrow. One of those at the very least had to be Battle Fader. Looks like he's going to discard about 3 cards. We'll go Threatening Roar, Try and Guess, Gift Card, and Accumulated Fortune, but fortunately for Punk, he's the only one who is playing fusion monsters, and therefore is able to use Try and Guess as a kind of fog of sorts, especially against the Black Garden deck, which has a huge problem putting up damage. And 3 Reckless Greed in a row! God, this brings me back to my Paleozoic days. He's actually got the whole combo again. I think he just needs the level up at this point. Could theoretically do it. There's 11 cards remaining in deck. Shouldn't be too difficult to stall out for a significant amount of time. There's a Hope for Escape that I think is actually unactivatable. He'll gain several thousand life points here. And then Swift Scarecrow, which gets Solemn Struck, bringing him down to 750. He draws Legacy of Yatagarasu and tries to go for it, but unfortunately Cretin does in fact have another Horn of Heaven and will go to game 2. So for game 2, same kind of thing is happening. Punk is going first and has drawn 1 Day of Peace. He'll set 3 cards. He's only got the level up, so there's a long way to go. This time, Alpha Cretin decides to go for Titanial. There's no Black Garden, so this is actually a pretty quick clock compared to last game. 3,200 on Punk's side of the field. Cretin will then synchro summon an Armades, which is pretty good, but it eats a threatening roar. Remember, chainable traps are extremely good. He'll upstart Goblin, set a couple of cards, then activate Waboku, setting a Reckless Greed. We'll push a chain to 4 to activate an accumulated fortune, and there's the first hope for escape we've seen so far. Ah, boy, neither player really interacting with each other at all. Punk is going to special summon a Battle Fader, but unfortunately, waiting until then puts him dead to Solemn Strike, which Alpha Cretin has. So, glad we were able to get that one out of the way. The other top 4 match contains my favorite deck remaining in the tournament, Spiral, Slifer, Convulsions of Nature. This list, if nothing else, is innovative. It's got a bunch of really wacky card choices, and I hope they pan out for Wa. Lil Spee is playing Rank Up Magic Gadgets. The build on this is terrible. There's a bunch of rum spells and a couple of targets, but hilariously, the extra deck includes ridiculous things like 2 copies of Utopia the Lightning. It had just come out, and I thought it was as good as Quaking Mirror Force. Wa says he's got a nuts hand, and oh my gosh, he does. Okay, so Convulsions of Nature into the true name. He's going to name Mind Crush and just add it to hand. Lil Spee hilariously says, was it Mind Crush? He's going to view his deck and get himself a copy of Slifer the Sky Dragon. This is the win condition of the deck. It's not very good, I do have to admit. The reason it's in here is because theoretically you're drawing like 6 to 8 cards a turn, and it would get pretty huge. He's then going to Pot of Duality. This was right after the first batch of Spiral cards was released, wisely taking the Archfiend's Oath over either of them. Archfiend's Oath, of course, allows him to draw an extra card per turn, which is pretty good. Spee's hand is looking pretty good as well. It has a way to make a rank 4, which is something. This deck also has a couple copies of Rafflesia and Chaos Trap Hole because I never actually read the card. Some things never change. Was going to start with Gen X Undyne, sending Dragoons. That's almost a good play. Dragoons' effect, I believe, summons a Deep Sea Diva from deck. Let me find that out real quick. No, it adds a Gishki Diviner to hand. Well, that's pretty strong, too. Gishki Diviner is another copy of Archfiend's Oath. He'll Archfiend's Oath now in order to get a copy of Spiral Super Agent to hand, but of course he's under Duality, so isn't able to use it. He'll set a copy of Mind Crush and pass it back to Spee. He knows that Spee is drawing a Dark Hole, but elects to let him have it. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. We're only losing, what, an Undyne here? That's not very powerful. Afterwards, Spee is going to normal summon a copy of Goblinberg. He'll special summon a copy of Silver Gadget and a copy of Tin Goldfish, it looks like. Oh my goodness. That's the whole hand, I suppose. Next thing he's going to do is overlay for a copy of Utopia and then go into Utopia the Lightning? Wait, it can only get up to 500 if you're attacking a monster. There's no... Oh my gosh. Wow, okay, yeah, well, I suppose a 2500 beat stick is probably scarier than anything else in this format. Maybe worth a shot. He sets a couple of trap holes, but they line up very poorly against Spiral Super Agent, so I think was probably feeling pretty good about himself. He draws the Diva off the top, so I suppose the first thing he's likely to do is either normal summon the Gishki Diviner or special summon the Spiral Super Agent. He'll go for the Super Agent, calling Spell. The spell on the top of Spee's deck is... oh, we don't get to see it. He'll then pop a set card. Spee will chain a Bottomless Trap Hole, but of course it's going to destroy this Chaos Trap Hole in the process as well. Was going to look at the extra deck real quick. We still have the normal summon and a bunch of life points to work with. We're going to lead with a copy of Archfiend's Oath for another Mind Crush, and now I'm feeling like he should have activated it the first turn. It would have at least been one fewer card, although having a monster on his side of the field might have been a liability against the deck that just summons a Utopia the Lightning and passes. He's going to normal summon a copy of Deep Sea Diva. That's going to get a Gishki Diviner from deck. You know, truth be told, I did put a fair amount of effort into making this deck interesting, and it's got a bunch of incidental synergies that I really like. I'd like to take a second look at this Spiral, Slifer, Convulsions of Nature deck, but likely it'd just turn into a Convulsions turbo build. Maybe something like a Left Arm Offering to find the Convulsions more frequently, and then all these cards like Gishki Diviner, Archfiend's Oath, in order to shore up the inherent negative of playing a card like that. That might actually be pretty fun. Ooh. Now I'm thinking. A dangerous task. It looks like was going to synchro summon a copy of Armades. Armades was pretty good at the time, but not very good against a 5,000 attack point beatstick. Luckily, it does line up very well against Silver Gadget, as it has just slightly the exact same defense points as that card. So, of course, we'll take 1500 here. Looks like Lil Spee is not going to activate the effect of Utopia the Lightning. I suppose daring Wa to ever summon anything in attack position again. Theoretically, there's a way that he could out it with Slifer the Sky Dragon, though. How do you actually summon this card? You have to tribute 3 monsters? Oof, that seems unlikely. Was going to lead with a copy of Archfiend's Oath to get Summoner Monk. Okay, now this could work. There are good rank 4s in Was deck. I think there's 101, there's Castell. Hell, there might be a copy of Utopia the Lightning of his own. And of course, Utopia the Lightning used to be the best out to Utopia the Lightning. So it looks like he's going to activate Summoner Monk's effect, getting rid of the big red in his hand. Yeah, just a lot of conflicting normal summons in this grip. I don't know what I was thinking, playing all these cards that had to be normaled from the hand at the same time. Well, the Super Agent isn't going to accomplish a whole lot. Unfortunately, you can't search a Diviner because, of course, Diviner is, in fact, a level 3. Afterwards, was likely going to overlay here, and Castell it is. So Castell's going to be able to get rid of the copy of Utopia the Lightning, but it's really hard to feel like Was in any sort of commanding position. He kind of has to figure out a way to out any 4 off the top, losing the game immediately. Looks like that second Utopia the Lightning is kind of coming in handy. Ah, and we've drawn a Barion's Force. I don't actually know the text on this card. Yeah, this card's terrible. Thankfully it's going to get Mind Crushed. I think if I was Wa, I'd probably be saving the Mind Crush for rank 4. I mean, that's the only way you lose this game. He's going to draw a Quick Fix. Boy, you really aren't allowed to summon those. You can't link them off for a Link Haribo because, of course, it's Master Rule 3, and that card hasn't been printed yet. We're going to normal summon a Gishki Diviner. We have, I think, enough life points for exactly 1, and it's Quaking! Oh my goodness. This is the all-star of the tournament. It's in almost every deck, because at the time I was building these really mediocre strategies, I thought Quaking was the hottest crap in the universe. It was an extremely expensive card. It warps the game around its activation, and I thought that was so cool. Unfortunately, it didn't really pan out in terms of playability. I think it was like, okay, the very first format that it was introduced, and then immediately fell off as people recognized how terrible Mirror Forces are. So he's going to be able to attack into a copy of Silver Gadget here, and then eat the Gold Gadget as well, but of course they float into each other once per turn, so if you don't have 3 monsters, it doesn't really do a whole lot. He is going to attack into it regardless, and then it's going to end on a copy of Red Gadget. Spee is thinking ahead, and unfortunately for Wa, can use this Red Gadget to get a Yellow Gadget. This is one of the advantages of playing the gadgets in this deck. See, I had always thought that it was interesting that builds around the time of Gold and Silver Gadget weren't playing what, in my memory, was one of the best advantage engines of all time. There's a Barion's Force off the top for the rank 4, but I don't think Spee is going to have to use it. I mean, Was only at 1,000 attack. He just has to pop this copy of Quaking, although I guess there's no copy of Tornado in the extra, so I don't really know what exactly he could go into to out it. Was it... Oh, right. Yeah, Utopia the Lightning is also Armades, so Wa is going to concede. Wow, that was an interesting back and forth for the game 1. Who knew that the second copy of that Utopia the Lightning was going to come in such handy? Was got a pretty good hand for game 2, but unfortunately doesn't have a way to manipulate the top of his deck, and he doesn't have one in the top 3 cards of his deck either. We've got, what, an Undyne, a copy of Drone, and a Summoner Monk. Was Rafflesia out at the time of Was deck? That's not a terrible thing to go into, although I don't think he's on any trap holes, so of course there wouldn't be any targets. Looks like he has elected to add that Drone to the hand. That at least allows him to summon Super Agent, but he's not going to be making any Helixes this turn because, again, there hasn't been a Link card printed yet. So he's going to look at his opponent's deck and then afterwards activate the effect of Super Agent? Potentially? No? Oh, this is a very interesting Wa play. Not playing around Mech Knights also. Blasting Fuse at this point in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, I suppose. Electing to allow Spee to keep the card on top of his deck because he wants to get value off of the Super Agent later. However, I don't think Spee is really on any spells or traps that he sets. with the exception of, I think, exactly Quaking Mirror Force. Whoa! 4 monsters! This is looking like Master Rule 4 already. It's less good to keep a green gadget on top of Spee's deck because it allows him to shuffle out of the Super Agent lock. Wow. Your deck is leagues above mine, says Watrainen. Oh, wow. Wait, that Quaking set is going to be really bad if Spee elects to go into double Utopia Lightning. At least you'd go into 1. You can't pass up 4,900 points of damage here. Wow! Okay, there's Utopia the Lightning. Let's see what the other one becomes. Sheesh, it's a Gadget deck that plays Baryon Force. Can we get a C101? Oh, man. This is incredible. So was going to go down to, what, like 300 here? He'll use the effect. That puts him down 49, and then he's going to take another 25. Oh, 600 life points? Okay, if you say so. Quaking looking just about as bad as it turned out to be. Really proving past MBT incorrect here. A duality off the top maybe does something. If he super agents correctly, he can make a rank 4 with the Atlantean Dragoons. There's no Exciton in the format. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like he's missed the super agent too, so he can't Pot of Duality. A true name or bust, I suppose. Let's see what happens. Alright. What is he calling? Convulsion, right? You have to. Quick Fix. Nope. Super Agent. Wow. That's going to be the end of the game, I suppose. There's really nothing he could do here but set a singular card, and anything is going to just win the game immediately for Spee. Pot of Duality, sir. You are under Spiral Super Agent. Excuse me, Judge! Why do we not have someone on standby for this? And he's going to admit defeat. So it looks like our final match is going to be Cherry in Motto versus Rank Up Magic Gadgets. Let's check it out. Well, folks, Spee is right. It all comes down to this. In Motto Black Garden versus Rank Up Gadgets. Neither of these decks are very good. In fact, I would hesitate to call them even competent. They represent a period in my deck building when I was very new to both the Yu-Gi tubing scene and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, having taken a long hiatus prior. And the deck building reflects it. There's a lot of Quaking Mirror Force in this best of 3, and you're going to see some Nombos as well. Alpha Cretin says, you say in Mato, I say in Motto. If nothing else, he's keeping it entertaining. So Cretin's won the die roll and is making Spee go second. I don't know if Spee is too beat up about this, truthfully. He wants to go second, playing a deck with double Utopia the Lightning, and a bunch of rank-up cards that don't really get value unless your opponent has already committed to a play. Looks like he's drawn a couple of them here. 2 copies of Quick Chaos in the opener. Unfortunately, you can't Quick Chaos into Quick Chaos, but it summons a number C at quick speed, which maybe has applications against clearing tokens. Alpha Cretin's hand is terrible, but he does have a copy of Pot of Duality. I was suffering at this time from the same brain disease that everyone from like 2011 to 2014 did, which was thinking that like Pot of Duality was so inherently strong that you could play it in a deck that was looking to Lone Fire Blossom on turn 1. Cretin has used it to get a Solemn Warning to hand. He's going to set a Debris Dragon. No Blackguard in this game, which is kind of critical to his game plan. Otherwise, he's just playing an actually bad deck. So Spee has a lot going on here. He's going to summon a gold gadget, which is not going to activate an effect. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. Okay, he'll set 1 card. We know it's Rank Up Magic Quick Chaos. What is Spee up to exactly? Wow, passing the turn back. He must know something we don't. So, Cretin finally finds a Terraforming. This card was at 3 at the time, and remained so for years. That's going to allow him to get a Black Garden from deck. Unfortunate that we're not able to play the Black Garden Synchro Searcher. That card came out much later than this series. Alpha Cretin, B-Voice. You like math? Alright, Black Garden time. It's unfortunate the Dueling Book can't track attack on tokens, or attack modifications on monsters, because boy would it be helpful here. Math sucks, which is why I have elected to ignore math and all its math subsidiaries. That's a strong condemnation of both Andrew Yang 2020 and Math Mech. So Alpha Cretin is activating another copy of Duality, Again, really good in the deck that is revealing Lonefire Blossom off of all of these. Cherry and Motto set is at the very least a competent play, in the context of this tournament at least, but that Thorn of Malice is just rotting in the hand. I played Regeki and everything too. It was a little more defensible in 2016 because decks weren't, like, good. And now Spee is probably kicking himself for having set that copy of Barion's Force. If he could discard it to Summoner Monk, he might be in a better position. I expect he'll be using Goblinberg's effect here. Alpha Cretin says the effect is fine. He summons a yellow Gadget. After that, I expect he'll summon a rank 4. Oh, yellow F is fine. Whoa, 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 folks. Judge, I told you we needed someone on call. Yellow can miss timing. In fact, all of the Gadgets can. They have a when this card is normally special summoned, you can. And of course, that doesn't play well with Goblinberg, which specials a monster and then changes himself to defense position. I think the last time this was relevant is when decks were playing Armageddon Knight and Goblinberg in the same deck. Armageddon Knight, hilariously, another card that can miss timing. Well, I don't think it matters too much. Spee's whole deck is 4-star monsters, and having an additional one that rots in the hand is probably not very good. Ho ho! Solemn Warning coming in clutch. I probably would have waited until the Utopia the Lightning hit the field. There's no way that Spee gets away without summoning it, and it's so good against Blackgarden that I think that you probably can't pass it up. That would eliminate one of the two, and you wouldn't have to worry about it later. Another Pot of Duality. Are we going to Duality 3 turns in a row? Is that what's going on here in our special summoning deck? Yeah? I guess so. Okay. So let's see what we find off of Pot of Duality. Triality, says Alpha Cretin. Another copy of Horn of Heaven and a Quaking Mirror Force. Oh, you gotta take Quaking here. I mean, probably the pick is like the World Tree or something, but Quaking is so funny. Yes! Oh, good. All right, okay. I really hope that we get to finally see Quaking in action, but you know, it's not very good when it's telegraphed. I think Spee is going to be very cognizant of the fact that Alpha Cretin has it, as he was in his match against Watrain, and just go into Utopia the Lightning over and over. You can tell even how Spee's play technically has evolved over the course of this tournament. In the first round, he was making C101 like it was actually a justifiable win condition, and now he's just completely foregoing the rank up portion of the deck in order to make Lightning over and over again. He's got 2 copies of Quick Chaos, and he's elected to just dead his hand, starting with a Pot of Generosity in order to just make the better Xyz. Really good deck building from me that is optimal. Alright, looks like Cretin is going to switch that token to defense position. Are the tokens summoned in attack? Oh, of course they are. Oh, excellent. So that means, unfortunately, that he's not going to be able to stop the 5,000 attack point hit that he's likely to take. Again, the Gadget! He could have just summoned a Goblinberg here, or the Summoner Monk even, but I reserve the right to be upset about it regardless. Alright, looks like next he's going to go into Utopia and Utopia the Lightning. Here it is. Of course, this is one of the very few cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's immune to Quaking Mirror Force, the most powerful card in the game. Can't attack with the gold Gadget, but keeping it in attack position anyway because it has so many points. It's going to eliminate a token, and I think you probably just pass back here. Cretin, thinking out loud real quick, he says, wait, Jesus. Yes, that's correct. Utopia the Lightning does in fact ruin your entire strategy. I am pretty sure that it actually pops up to 5,000. Let me check. Yes, it does. Its attack is not halved because it's a set. It's not a double. Alright, so Fragrant Storm off the top is a start, I suppose. Alpha Cretin says, Dual Links. Alright, time for Regeki, and wow, if he had just waited for Spee to make Utopia the Lightning #1, we'd be out of Lightnings. But now he's got a pretty easy out this game. Gold effect? Okay, yeah. Get you silver. Let's get the token. At the very least, we're not dualitied out of the game. And, oh, you can summon red off of silver? Are you kidding me? Well, at the very least, this means that silver isn't going to be able to float into gold, which is upside. And he's got a bunch of cards that actually do something here. A tuner of all things, and a cherry and motto. So let's go into, what, Trishula? I don't know, what would be the funniest thing to go into here? Oh, yes, that is up there. Red Dragon Archfiend with 1500 attack. Well, it does clear monsters pretty effectively. And this Debris Dragon has 1000 attack, which is more than I think anything on the field ever will for the remainder of the turn. Fragrance Storm, wow, destroying your opponent's tokens, so strong, actually pretty playable. Titanial, wow, incredible. And by the way, I think last time I was pretty specific about how bad Titanial was, and all of you were so excited to correct me, letting me know that this card actually saw a period of playability that I was completely absent from the game for. Apparently, it was a top-tier meta threat and won a whole bunch of YCSs. It must have really been very good on Dueling Nexus back in the day. He's going to normal summon a Lone Fire Blossom. It's not 2019, so I don't know if you go through all the Lone Fire Blossom effects to clog up your opponent's board with tokens. But then again, maybe you do. It's not like they have a very good way of getting rid of them. Alright, we're going to the extra deck. Looks like we're not even going to use Lone Fire Blossom once. We can go into a 7, and oop, Clearwing is quite strong. Okay, so this kind of turned out pretty good for Cretin. I mean, if 900 is enough to live on, he could wrap this up. Okay, so we attack first with Hot Dragon Red Archfiend, I suppose. That's going to destroy the red gadget, and oh, is this effect going to trigger? Oh, wow, it destroys all defense position monsters your opponent controls. Really ridiculous that I was playing this card in this deck that forces your opponent to summon attack position tokens. Very good. I guess it counters the strategy of set all my monsters in defense position, your tokens can't possibly out this. Maybe I was up to something. I'm giving myself a lot of the benefit of the doubt here, because if I don't, I have to rankle with the fact that I had no idea what I was doing for literal years of my channel. Alright, so Spee has drawn a tin goldfish, and it looks like we are now going to have to figure out a way to win the game. Now, when I earlier said that he could make Utopia the Lightning, I didn't check how many Utopias he's playing. I assume I'd be playing 3 and 2, because that seems like something I do, but if he's on 2 and 2, it doesn't matter that Cretin didn't wait. Adding that gadget off of that Goblinberg, again, tisk tisk. That's a 3 strikes and you're out rule. Can we DQ this guy? Oh, looks like I was on a 3-2 package of Utopia the Lightning. You have 3, says Cretin. That is correct. You can thank me for that. Isn't it always satisfying when the better deck builder wins? Whoever put together this Black Garden deck had no idea what they were talking about. Alright, that's going to put a token on Cretin's side of the field. Do you not play 3 Kabasha? Oh, get your disgusting hut memes out of here. And this is going to be game. Okay. So, I expect that to happen again. Spee's deck seems head and shoulders able to counter Cretin's, but Cretin's drawn Soul Charge, which is a good card, I've heard. Spee's on Twin Twister, accidentally a very good card against this deck. He'll go through a couple of Lone Fire Blossoms, and whoa! End on Titanial! Oh, I see why this was playable. There's no restriction on Lone Fire Blossom. Okay. Yeah, I could get behind it. Thorn of Malice, less good, but something. We can't Pot of Duality, but we can set a Quaking Mirror Force. Wow, found it every single game so far of this best of 3. I mean, it is the best card in the deck, and that's the reason that you have to respect it. Okay, Spee's turn, and he can really summon 5 monsters here. Wow, that's incredible. No Tornado Dragon, of course. This Twin Twisters is likely going to come in handy. She's stronger than a Blue Eyes! And yes, here is the Twin Twister. Discarding Summoner Monk. That is a flex. How dare, says Cretin, destroying the ultimate strength of the format. Quaking Mirror Force. Yeah, this is really, really bad for Cretin. From this position, Spee can easily make a Utopia the Lightning, or 2, if he so desires. I don't have insight into his mind, but it seems pretty good. He will summon a red gadget again, come on! Wait, is that actually legal? Oh, no, it actually is. Wow, well, I was upset over nothing this time. There is a Utopia the Lightning, electing not to, just to get in with a Getakage and a green gadget before making a 101 in main phase 2. Wow, not even to take a monster just because it can't be destroyed. That's the kind of flex I do like. Cretin has Soul Charge, which is decidedly unproblematic here. It's just going to get back a Titanial and a couple of Lonefire Blossoms. Wait, even that's quite strong. He's at very low life points, so I don't know how many he's going to be able to get. 3462, as it were. Thanks, Dueling Book. Ooh, glitching out a little bit. It looks like he's at about 650 life points total, but I'm not exactly sure. So 2 plants could equate into something relevant, or he could overlay for a copy of, what? Breaksword? What other 3s are in the game? Zenmanes, maybe? Breaksword it is. Okay, well, Duality has just been rotting in the hand. I guess we could set that and use it to destroy this copy of Utopia the Lightning. We have to find a way to out this Silent Honor arc. Silent Honor Dark from the rank up magic is looking quite good. Putting creatures in defense position, of course, is the lifelong counter to this otherwise unbeatable card. So we'll destroy the set and Utopia, and this Horn of Heaven is going to come in clutch as well, I believe. We will set it and maybe get in with Titanial over the course of a couple of turns. So Silent Honor arc becomes way less good as you begin to lose material on it. Uh-oh. Spee has isolated the win condition, talking mad shit for someone in Cowboy range. No, did I put Cowboy in here? Okay, wait. It was 2016? Oh, there's no way I didn't put Cowboy in here. Oh, no. Goblinberg for Red Gadget. Oh, please activate the effect of Red Gadget. Blah, blah, blah. Not gonna happen. On normal summon of Goblin, Horn of Heaven. Okay, good. However, Horn of Heaven is an inherent summon. We can at least wait for the rank 4, I think. Why give him that chance? Okay, alright. That's another turn Cretin gets to live, at the very least. Unfortunately, Spee's deck now has a ton of outs. Any of the rank up magics, any rank 4 does it. Regeki. Regeki is pretty bad. Maybe you still activate it, you get a material off of Arc, then you can attack into the copy of Arc and finally get all the material off of it. Wow, this is just a towers in this format. Incredible. Turbo Silent Honor Arc, when? Okay, this doesn't even do what I want, says Cretin. Well, time to give you time to find a way to kill me. That was fast. Instant Fusion, of course, very good when Norden is still in the format. That is going to cost Spee 1,000 life points, and Cretin says that would do it. Okay, let's see it. Oh, wow. No. Oh, no. Oh, Norden wasn't even printed. I'm playing Instant Fusion for Darkfire Dragon. Oh, gosh. And there it is. Oh, what a painful end to a game. Though it is a little bit of poetic justice that the individual who cheated with win effects all series won off of a Cowboy for lethal. Wow. And rank up Magic Gadgets takes it on the back of an unkillable Silent Honor arc. So that's that. Your champion, rank up Magic Gadgets, did not lose a single game this entire format. Huh. Apparently making rank 4s is way more powerful than making Assault Dragon Catapult Cannon. Who'd have thought? Thank you all for coming with me on this fun little adventure, going back in time to check some of the extremely egregious errors I made in 10-minute testing. I like to think that my deck building has gotten just a little bit better since then. I'm not putting Quaking Mirror Force in anything anymore, but I am putting Extravagance in almost every deck that goes up, as you've all been so kind to point out. Again, I do want to offer you a heartfelt thanks. It really means a ton to me that I was able to galvanize 10,000 people around the idea of seeing an out-of-work actor put together some children's card game profiles. If you'd like to be a part of the next one, consider subscribing. We're actually pretty close to 15K at this point, and I'll be doing something fun for that as well. Additionally, I'll be putting the YDKs for every single one of these decks up on Patreon, so if you are interested in funding the Rothschildian global empire, please give me your money, and you too can host a tournament as exciting as this one. Until that next time, bye.